So what tools will you need to change the track? Well, here's what I've laid out. You're going to need a rag or something to clean up because it does get messy, a socket set. You don't need as many sockets as that, but you will need one socket the correct size, a grease gun because it's going to need to be tensioned afterwards, pry bar, something to leave it off and on with, and a long piece of wood, for which I will show you what I use it for. Now, to take the track off, we need to release the tension from the track. Now, nearly all digger tracks are tensioned by grease. They have a hole or a plate with a hole behind it on the idler end, which is where the wheel is, not the gear, on the idle end of the digger track. This one, being a small digger, is nearly halfway, but it is here. This is where you need your socket set. This one is a 17 mil. We put it in the hole. Take the grease nipple out, which will allow the grease to come back out from the hole. So here we are. This is what we've removed. Got the grease nipple on the end and it's screwed into the hole. Once you've removed that, now the grease is free to release. Now this is where my trusty piece of wood comes in. So now we've released where the grease can come out from, you need your piece of wood, which is what I use to take the tension off. So set the bucket up so the piece of wood can go between the bucket and the idler end of the track. Then we can use the arm to press in here, which will force the grease out of the hole, take the tension out of our track. Let's see how it goes. Watch the grease come out here. So you can see all our excess grease has come out because we've pressed in the tension on the idler track. Now we're free to take the track off. Now that this track is loose, I'm going to lift it up off the floor to allow me to slide it out. I'm going to do that by pressing the blade down, pressing the bucket down on the floor very slightly, not just a lot, but just enough so that the track will slide out. Now you can see our track, top of the floor, I've got space between these idler pulleys and the top of the track, which will allow us to slide it out. Now this being a small track, we might not even need a bar, but the bigger the track, the heavier they get. So we're just going to grab the end and see if we can pull it out over. So this one, being a smaller track, is actually a lot easier to get off. There we go. One track off the digger. So your track is off and you need to get it back on again. While it's off, one thing I'll recommend is a good opportunity to check the bearings in the idle rollers. Some diggers have one up here, this being a smaller digger, it just has two on the bottom, and you can check the end idler as well. So you've got your track. One thing you need to make sure when you put it back on, that you put it back on the right direction. Most tracks have an angled cleat on them. This is so that as it spins, it pushes the dirt out. So you want it to push the dirt out when you are using it towards the blade. So we want the top of the track angled towards the blade. So we're going to face the arrow effectively, the point towards the blade this way. Now make sure you've got enough gap under your idler on the bottom and the top of your inside of your track so that you can slide it under. First end we're going to put it on is a sprocket end, your drive end. Now we've got it over this end, we can use the machine to take the track around while we bar it on. You've got your bar, you've got the track on the sprocket end, on the drive end. Then we're going to get our lever, put it on top here, on top of the track guide. And then we can slowly drive it forward using the track motor and using the bar to force it over the idle end. Now we've got the track on, and we're happy that it's set in the right place. The only thing left to do is to tension it. This is where you'll need your rag or paper towel or something, because when you release the track, a whole load of grease comes in and you need to get rid of it. Not particularly great job. There's no other way of getting rid of it. Often this is where dirt and stuff will get in, so you need to make sure it's properly clean so that when you put the grease nipple back in with the bung, it doesn't take dirt inside. So that's clean. We also need to make sure that I put this on the floor, it's dirty already, that this bung with the grease nipple on the end is clean. So it's not going to take dirt inside and damage some seals or something like that. So it's all clean, ready to stick back in the hole. Sockets. Don't forget to tighten it up. Doesn't need to be super tight, just firm hold. Will be fine. And the only thing left to do, grab your grease gun, put it on the grease nipple and tension it back up again. And you can see, as you grease it, this idler is pushing back out to tension the track. You can see this is getting tighter as I'm doing it. Thankfully this is a small digger. The bigger the digger, the longer this takes. Eventually, as we do it, there we go, this will start coming off the floor. You know it's starting to get towards its tension. You don't need to be uber tight, just enough to hold it with a bit of tension. It'll be fine. So there we go. One digger track fitted, ready to go. Thanks for watching.